They are the heartbeat at our feet, the unconditional love that greets us every day. Our confidants, our protectors, our furry family. We build our lives around them, share our deepest moments, and expect nothing but unwavering devotion. But what if that profound bond, that boundless affection, could, under the most extreme circumstances, give way to something utterly primal? Something that challenges every notion we hold dear about our best friends. What if your beloved dog could eat you? The unthinkable truth. Why would a dog eat its owner? It's a horrifying image, isn't it? A betrayal so profound it chills you to the bone. Yet, forensic science and documented cases tell a different story. A story less about malicious intent and more about the raw, undeniable force of survival. Forget the sentimental greeting cards and the Hollywood portrayals of eternally grieving pets. When a human dies and their dog is left alone, a profound ancient instinct can surface. It's a stark reminder that despite all the cuddles, the clever tricks, and the undeniable love, dogs are, at their very core, animals. And animals, above all else, are programmed to survive. This isn't to demonize our companions, it's to understand them, to peel back the layers of domestication and acknowledge the primal forces that still reside within. Because when the world shifts, when their human ceases to provide, that ancient programming can, and often does, kick in. The uncomfortable truth is, these incidents are far more common than you'd ever believe, often happening behind closed doors, only revealed when the unthinkable is discovered. So, what drives this unthinkable act? The most obvious yet most unsettling reason is hunger. Pure, unadulterated starvation. A dog, trapped and without food or water, will eventually reach a critical point where the desperate need to live overrides every other instinct. To a starving animal, a dead body, regardless of its former connection, becomes a potential food source. It's not malice. It's the desperate primal drive to endure. Their system literally screams for sustenance, and their brain scans for any available energy. But here's where the narrative twists into something even more complex. Many forensic reports indicate that in numerous documented cases, the dogs weren't even starving. They might have only been without food for a day or two. This highlights another powerful, often overlooked factor: the dog's innate scavenging instinct. Dogs evolved from wolves, master scavengers who efficiently consumed carrion. This deep-seated programming doesn't simply vanish with a comfortable bed and a bowl of kibble. It lies dormant, waiting for the right, or rather the most tragic circumstances to emerge. In a state of extreme stress and confusion, the deceased owner can simply become carrion, a resource to be utilized. Think of it this way. A dog left alone with a deceased owner is in an unprecedented situation. Their routine is shattered. Their source of food, water, and security is gone. Their world has suddenly, terrifyingly become unpredictable. In such a void, the most fundamental instincts rise to the surface. It's a testament to their adaptability, unsettling as it may be. Beyond the physical need for sustenance, the psychological journey a dog undertakes when their owner dies is incredibly complex. Imagine the profound confusion, the overwhelming fear, the intense stress. Their protector, their playmate, their entire world is suddenly inert. Some researchers propose an initial attempt to help or revive the owner. Licking, nudging, pawing, and then perhaps a break in the skin. The scent of blood. This can be a profound trigger, an incredibly powerful one, shifting the dog from an empathetic companion into a more primal state. The taste, the smell, the sudden realization of a food source in a desperate situation can override years of conditioned human bond behaviors. Consider also the profound isolation and anxiety. A dog left alone for days, sometimes weeks with a deceased owner, experiences a level of sensory deprivation and emotional distress we can barely comprehend. The usual comforts, human touch, familiar sounds, regular routines, even simple reassurance, are gone. In this void, behaviors can emerge that are utterly alien to their normal domesticated persona. Could it even be a desperate, misguided attempt to cleanse their environment of a non-responsive, perhaps decaying presence? An extreme, instinctual form of problem-solving when faced with an inexplicable and terrifying reality? The decaying scent itself could become a cue for consumption, much like a wild animal processing a carcass. These aren't just hypotheticals or rare aberrations. These are the chilling, documented realities unearthed by forensic science and incident reports from around the world, highlighting the raw power of instinct over sentimentality. The elderly woman and her miniature poodles, suburban Florida, USA. An elderly woman, frail and living alone, passed away in her bed. Her two miniature poodles, usually pampered and gentle, were found to have consumed significant portions of her body, primarily focusing on her face and upper limbs. Authorities noted that while dog food was present, it was in a closed container, inaccessible to the dogs. The forensic report highlighted that the initial trauma to the body seemed consistent with attempts to wake up the owner, escalating once skin was broken. The diabetic man and his loyal golden retriever, rural England, UK. A middle-aged man with uncontrolled diabetes collapsed in his living room. Days later, his golden retriever, a breed renowned for its gentle nature, was found to have consumed parts of his face, hands, and upper torso. What made this case particularly striking was the abundance of dog food and water nearby. This strongly suggests the immediate trigger was not starvation, but perhaps the accessibility of the body, coupled with the profound stress and confusion of the animal, leading to an instinctual reaction. The isolated apartment and the pack, Brussels, Belgium. In a particularly grim discovery, an individual who succumbed to a long-term illness was found after an extended period. Their multiple dogs, a mix of larger breeds, had almost completely consumed the body, leaving only skeletal remains and clothing fragments. This extended period highlights how, over time, a pack dynamic can intensify these behaviors, reducing the deceased to merely a resource in a desperate, prolonged survival scenario. The hunter and his hounds, remote mountain cabin, Colorado, USA. A lone hunter, unexpectedly succumbing to a heart attack, was discovered months later. His hunting hounds, left to their own devices, had completely consumed his remains. These were working dogs, bred for resilience and resourcefulness, and in the absence of human intervention, their primal instincts dictated their actions in a desperate situation. The lack of available wild prey in the cabin further pushed them towards the most immediate source of sustenance: the unresponsive lover and the Chihuahua, urban apartment, New York City, USA. Perhaps one of the most unsettling details comes from smaller breeds. In one instance, a man died in his sleep, and his tiny Chihuahua was found gnawing at his face. The small size of the dog often leads to a slower, more localized consumption. This specific case was noteworthy because the dog had just been fed, emphasizing the powerful, almost instantaneous switch from pet to scavenger when faced with a non-responsive human and a lack of other stimulation. The face-first phenomenon and the access theory. Forensic experts consistently observe a disturbing pattern across almost all cases. The face is often the first area to show signs of consumption. Why? It's often the most accessible part of the body when a person is lying down. But it also aligns with the waking up theory. A dog nudging, licking, then perhaps nipping at the most exposed areas like the nose, lips, or ears, inadvertently triggering a more visceral response. Once blood is drawn, the primal switch can be flipped, and the deceased is no longer master, but resource. This uncomfortable truth isn't meant to demonize our dogs or to undermine the profound love we share with them. Quite the opposite. It deepens our understanding and respect for them as the complex, magnificent animals they truly are. It reminds us that while we have domesticated them for thousands of years, and they are capable of incredible empathy, joy, and loyalty, they are not simply furry humans. They are creatures of instinct, guided by ancient drives that, in the face of ultimate adversity, can resurface with breathtaking, sometimes terrifying power. Our dogs bring immeasurable joy, comfort, and companionship into our lives. They teach us about unconditional love and simple happiness. But understanding these extreme, rare scenarios helps us appreciate the full spectrum of their being, from the goofy playfulness to the raw, untamed survivalist within. It's a testament to their incredible adaptability, a trait that has allowed them to thrive alongside us for millennia, even when it means confronting the most primal urges. So, does knowing this change how you see your beloved companion? Does it simply highlight the incredible, sometimes unsettling beauty and brutality of the natural world? A world where even the deepest bonds can be tested by the most fundamental urge to survive. It's a powerful reminder of life's fragility and the powerful, untamed spirit that lives within every creature, no matter how deeply ingrained they are in our domestic lives.